Good evening, guys, and happy, what is today? The Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. I've lost track of the days, guys. The cold is making it so. Actually, the cold messed up today as well. If you guys saw it yesterday, I had said how like I really wasn't able to fall asleep last night because my parents woke me up like a few times because we kept hearing this loud like popping noise and or like almost kind of like a banging noise sort of, but like they heard it and like we think it might have been actually from like the furnace or like even to the water heater. Maybe it was getting warm and like not from the pipes or anything like that, but possibly even from like it being near like the exhaust, like getting hot and being near the like beams and stuff like that in the attic, and that was what the noise like we were hearing was. But yeah, it was, you know, like I heard it the two loud times. My mom said that it kind of kept happening like a little bit, but like very lightly throughout the night as well. But yeah, so anyways, that kept me up though, and then my parents coming to ask me if I heard it like 2 or 3 times last night, and then them looking around the house for it, like that stuff kept me up. So then I fell asleep like late that night and then woke up like pretty early just because I feel like I don't know, not that I like couldn't sleep, but like I couldn't fall asleep, and it was just like yesterday, like by the time I'd finally fallen asleep like the night before, like then yesterday like I woke up and was like just like I just got up. Like normally especially if I feel like I didn't get enough sleep, I probably try and fall back asleep, but I didn't and I got up. And so today something very similar happened. I went to sleep normally. I actually went to sleep kind of early last night, but my dad was home because he had like a doctor's appointment this morning, and he had it early this morning too. But it was actually colder today than it was yesterday. It was like, I think negative like 9 degrees today, or maybe it was 9 degrees as a high or something like that. I think right now it's like 3 degrees outside possibly, or not 3, it's negative 3 degrees outside I think. But I want to say that whatever the temperature was today, it was colder than it was yesterday. But there was wind yesterday. There wasn't, I don't think, quite as much wind today. My dad though said that today was colder than it was yesterday. So again, the cold has, like I said, thrown a huge wrench into our plans today. So my dad gets up and he hears the furnace making this insanely bizarre sort of noise. Which maybe possibly could have been related to the night before. Don't really know, but what we think was the culprit doesn't really make sense. So like I said, don't know if that was for sure what happened. But my dad ends up going, and he gets up, like, you know, he's going to go to the doctor, but he hears this noise coming from the furnace, and it sounds like, I don't know, like a humming or like a squeaking noise or something like that. So he comes in and he wakes me up and he's like, Kayla, I have to go to the doctor. He's like, oh, okay. My mom's dealing with something else at this point. He's like, I have to go to the doctor, you know, but the furnace people, like somebody's supposed to be coming. He's like, I don't know when they're supposed to be coming. They're supposed to be coming at some point. Can you and Jack try and like clean up the laundry room? You know, again, to like just kind of tidy up some of the stuff, pick up the laundry baskets, you know, all that kind of stuff. And like, I was like, originally he asked me and I was like, okay, yes, but my neck is hurting. Like, you know, again, actually today it felt way better. I did spend a lot of time though on my feet today, which I feel like was really good. I stood for a long time today. Like, I didn't stand at my desk today, but now I'm kind of almost wishing I had a standing desk, like instead of, not that I don't love my desk, but I've noticed that my spine feels better, like, and like my back and my shoulders and everything like that. My posture is just better when I'm standing. And I think that, like, you know, as humans, we weren't really designed to sit all day. And again too, I feel like that is like the like I sit around, I think, too much, and when I'm standing I genuinely do feel better. Like, I felt one of the best days that I'd felt on Friday when we were actually out at the grocery stores and I was walking around and we were like out and up and everything like that, like almost most of the morning. But so today, again, I was standing and like up on my feet and stuff like that, and my back and neck really didn't hurt until just a few hours ago when I was laying down in bed and I was scrolling on my phone, because the other big problem that happened this morning was the fact that our internet was out, and it has been out. And most likely it is a problem from the cold, possibly. It is a very small little area, like they showed like the outage. There's like 44 people affected, and it's all right in our little tiny neighborhood right here. I mean, there's other people outside of it that were affected, like there were some people in Chicago and stuff like that. There's a bigger concentration of like that, but it's also a bigger city. Like our little town, out of only people that were affected by these, like this outage, it was like 44 people, and we're one of those 44 people. And it looks, though, originally, so my mom is trying to talk to the you know, the internet people, and I think they were also, her and my dad were both trying to call somebody to come out to fix the furnace. They called like 2 different companies, or you know, to at least come and look at the furnace. So again, my mom's like calling the internet too and trying to figure out what's going on with that. And originally we thought it was just like an outage or whatever. I mean, it is like an outage, but it appears to be like equipment wise, like either there's something wrong with the you know, like wires, or you know, like the cables, you know, like that kind of stuff. And it is not, you know, not like our house, but you know, again too, from wherever, like there's lines, I don't want to say there's lines down, but there's some type of equipment error was what like they was saying on like the website. So, you know, that's fun. So it is still not up. That was why I was scrolling on my phone, because I can't like sit in bed and like watch TV. I can't like sit at my desk. Like that's why I wasn't sitting at my desk at all today, because I was like, I don't really know. I can't go on the internet. Like I can't do a lot of stuff right now. So, yeah, I wasn't. I haven't been at my desk or had my computer really on or anything like that. I was playing a little bit of my Switch today just because I could do that not online, but other than that, like I wasn't, like I was just up doing things today. Like I was like, I don't know what else to do. I was like, I could sit and read a book, but I told you guys how like my shoulder and like my neck has kind of been like hurting more when I've been sitting, like, so I was trying to avoid that today. But today would have been a perfect day to read a book, like, you know, cuddle up and everything like that with a nice cozy blanket and a good book. But today was not how it went, because the furnace, it was still running. That was the thing, was that it never was out. Plus too, though, we had occupied some of the spaces in the house with little like space heaters. Like I have a little one in here right now that I had since yesterday, because like the rest of the house is warm, but my room has been kind of cold because I've had my door closed and I'm like at the end of the house. So it was colder in my room than it was in the rest of the house. And now my room has actually been one of the warmer rooms, but it's still comfy. Like I don't like my room really warm. So anyways, though, I slept well last night, which is good. Like, because normally, like I said, I don't sleep well in the heat. I sleep better in the cold. But the what's it called, the little heater that I had going in here was like the perfect temperature. So anyways, back to the story. The furnace guy comes out, and he ends up telling my dad. So he like, you know, looks around at a few things. I think he probably like, you know, took the you know, panel off, you know, was looking at it or whatever. But the thing was, we couldn't really get it to recreate this sound, and it, you know, had been. And it was probably maybe even to making that noise like throughout the night, but my dad just noticed it when he got up this morning. So the furnace guy ends up, he looks and he's like, oh, you know, like he looks at the filter, which we had just replaced. Like I think you're supposed to replace your filters every like 3 months or something like that. So like, you know, the furnace filter, and he's looking at it and he's like, have you guys had your ducts cleaned recently, or maybe have you had like construction projects? My dad's like, we've had both of those. And he's like, well, that looks like maybe what it was. You know, that the what's it called, the filter, completely filled, like completely, you know. And again too, my dad changed it I think at the end of November, or maybe like mid-November, something like that. I think right after I think that they ended up coming and doing the ducts, which was sometime in November. I think it was like right around my birthday. And then again too, we had the construction project with all the drywall stuff going on very shortly also after that as well. So basically the filter tries to prevent your you know, your furnace from getting all of that stuff and gunk in the furnace, and so it, you know, it filters it out before it can get there. Well, it was sucking in all of the dust from the you know, the vents that we had just had cleaned, the ducts that we had cleaned, the you know, all of the drywall stuff and everything like that. So my dad ended up having somebody come out to just tell him that he needed to replace the filter for like, you know, $10 or whatever. My dad was like, I was so embarrassed, like, you know, just for somebody to be like, yep, that was your problem. But he was like, no, like, if you had just had your ducts cleaned, he's like, honestly, they normally tell you like after, I don't know, like 2 weeks after you have your ducts cleaned to replace your filter, because all the stuff that was like kicked up in your ducts, you know, goes through that filter then, and that, you know, like can cause problems then. And he's like, and if your furnace has been running this much, like that's what we were thinking, because it's so cold, like the furnace has been running this much, like it must be like a real big problem. And he was like, no, it was probably like the fan was trying to like suck air through and it couldn't get any air through because it was so like filtered, like the filter was so clogged. We also had a really high filter, like I don't know, like thickness or whatever it was. So that was also what he said as well, was that it was like stopping everything from getting through, which is really good. But it was also, again, too, like all of that stuff that we had kicked up, like it just completely, like, you know, was not moving at all. And that was probably what the squeaking noise was that it was still trying to suck air through, and like it was still running and everything like that, and running well, but like he said, it was probably just, you know, like still trying to like do it and like couldn't get it through, and that's what like the squeaking noise or whatever was. And so we haven't heard it really again since, but who knows, we don't know for sure if that was exactly the problem. But like I said, we didn't hear it much after like overnight. You know, this morning, you know, my dad heard it a few times, and that's when he was like, oh no, we gotta call somebody. And then like midday, when it wasn't running as frequently, we didn't hear it as much. So, or I never heard it at all, so I don't really even know what it was that it sounded like. Jack said it almost sounds like when you're like sharpening a knife, so it sounds like some type of like metal kind of scraping on there or whatever. But you know, it could be like the fan blades, or I don't know, I don't want to say it's the fan blades, but like whatever the, you know, the fan kind of stuff is that's in the vent that's like sucking the air through, was not working efficiently enough, or was, you know, again, to whatever, because of the filter. So I guess that's good, that problem was fixed, but we still do not have internet. So they said 10 hours. We don't know if that means 10 hours that it's been out, or 10 hours that we still have to wait for it to be turned back on. But like, it probably won't be on until tomorrow, because most likely they won't be sending crews out. Like my mom called and they said they won't send crews out until 8 in the morning. So I mean, unless they do it overnight, but I don't think so. I genuinely think it was probably something that, again, too, is like a down cable or broken whatever kind of thing, and it was too cold and nobody wanted to go outside today. I mean, but then we're stuck in the house, and you know, we can't do anything because we're not going anywhere, because you know, it's so cold out right now, and nobody's going to a coffee shop today because it's so freezing cold. So like, again, too, like work and things like that people have to do, couldn't be done today, which stings, which is why everybody was like on their phones, because we still have like cell service, but we have no internet in the house. So anyways, yeah, that was our day for today. You know, the cold strikes again, for like the second, or you know, I guess almost third day in a row, because it's been like this for like 3 days now. But it's supposed to be really warm tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 20 something, which is warm for tomorrow. I think, or maybe almost 30 by like the I think the start of like next week it's supposed to be like the 40s again. I was like, really? So we get this like Arctic cold for like 3 days where, you know, all of this stuff is just happening because of the cold, and then it's gonna be like warm again. And like last Friday, like just over the weekend, we grilled hamburgers on the grill because it was 50 degrees outside, and I was like, take advantage of that warm weather, right? And now it's like, oh my goodness, everything is breaking down around us because of the cold. But anyways, I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.